this is Rekha from Fair Oaks. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Boba Fett helmet made out of cardboard. It's rather simple. I've already shown you the supplies that you would need. So I used a variety of things. Cardboard for one, but I learned that it was kind of difficult to manipulate it and turn it. So I started to use a thicker cardstock. I most likely for this video will be using the cardstock, and then for things that need to more dimension, for example this part here, I used the cardboard because it's a little bit more thicker, and the same for this side here. So let's go ahead and get started, and you'll learn how to make this pretty awesome helmet. Alright, so I've already traced or actually cut out my pieces. And then I've traced it, so just to show you how I did it, I traced it all along there, and now I'm going to cut it. I've already cut some other pieces just to show you, and it's on the thicker cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to cut it. Alright, so I've cut all my pieces. This is the front portion, and then this is the head. We'll go ahead and bend these pieces together to create like a sphere or half a sphere. It'll look kind of funny at first, but then it'll start to take its shape. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. And then I'll use tape to hold it together and the glue gun to kind of seal it and keep it in place. And just make sure you guys are extra careful when using the glue gun because it can burn you. Alright, so right here I'm just rolling the pieces, kind of breaking the cardboard to make it just more flexible. And I'll do that with a lot of the things that needs to be shaped and stuff. So I put tape just to secure it, and then I'll probably add some glue right here in the seam just to add some extra security and for it to just hold in place. It starts to look a little funny, like a little football, but it'll take its shape eventually. So these right here, I'll start to meet them up with the other end, hold them up with tape, and then attach the other parts, but then, glue it with some glue just to have it extra secure. So turn it inside out and start taping the two ends. So basically this is how I've done it. Putting tape all around, all in there to secure it. This is how it looks in the front. So like I said, it looks kind of oddly shaped. But once you start to glue it down with the glue gun and meet those and seal these with glue, it starts to take its form. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. Alright, so I've already taped the inside. I've added some glue, and I'll show you what I did. So I put a little bit in the seams, and while it's hot, you have to be very careful. I start to smooth it out just to get it in there. But what I learned while doing this, because I didn't like how it looked on mine, but once I got the paint on there, it looks kind of like battle worn, kind of like, not rustic, but just like it's all beat up. And that's the look I was going for this. So that's how I got the texture on there using the glue gun. And then I just started to smooth it out a little bit just because you don't want a bunch of lumps on there. But you want to make sure it's all nice and flush, and I'm just using cardboard to like scrape it down and make it kind of smooth. So this is how it looks so far. Now I'm going to add the front part of it all. And I don't know, I can just use, so just to show you how it looks. I'm not going to glue it down yet. But basically just like that, and then using the cardstock, it's working just fine. It's a lot more easier than using cardboard, but that's how it looks. And then there's a little gap right here because it doesn't meet, it doesn't close, so I'm going to use this piece here with the little tab on there to secure it on there, and then have it meet the other end, which I can't need to bend it, but I'll show you how it looks once it's all glued. So I've attached the front part of the helmet, and then the back. Unfortunately, this piece was too small, so I had to just eyeball it and cut a bigger piece. And now what I'm doing, I've basically put glue, and I've covered it with tape, that way just to cover the seams and make it look much more flush. And then I'm going to do that with this side. The glues have already dried up, so I'm going to put a little bit put a little bit of glue, and then attach some tape and then seal it, okay? And from there, I'll start working on the front part of the helmet by adding the pieces like the cheekbone parts and then the helmet area. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this to dry, add some tape, and you will see how it looks once it's done. All right, so this is what we have so far. I've put some tape just to clean it up. But like I said, if you don't want to and you want it to look much more battle worn, don't add the tape, but I just want it to look a little bit more flush, and it cleans up the lines of, you know, the two seams, the bottom helmet and the head, cleans it up. So far, this is what we got. Now I'm going to attach the front portion here. I've bent it a little bit using the pencil again, just to break up the cardboard, just be a little gentle because sometimes it rips. And I'm going to attach it there using the hot glue, and then I'll be adding these pieces here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And then wait for it to dry. So that's how it looks. I'm going to attach the T portion. I'm going to bend it a little bit, not so much, because I want it to look a little bit like, give it some dimension. So I won't bend it that much. I'll just bend the edges so I can glue it down, but I'll attach it there just like that on both sides. All right, so I've added the front portion of it. I forgot to tell you, but don't add glue to the entire thing. You just want to add glue to this side here because you want it, like I said, to give it some dimension. So that's how it looks so far. Now I'll be adding the top portion of the visor. So I'll add it here, just like that. And then I'll be adding more of it all along the entire helmet. So I've cut my pieces there. I'll get to the cheek portion in just a minute, and I'll show you how I do that. But I'm going to finish doing the top portion, and then we'll get into doing that. All right, so I've gotten the little border thing all along the entire helmet. And now I'm just going to do the cheeks. I don't know what else to call them. So this part here, that's inserted in there. So I'm going to do that portion. For that piece, I've cut out, because I've traced it, so I cut out this portion here because we're going to kind of bring them together to kind of give them a look like they're like kind of caved in or whatever, so that to create that look that we have on this helmet here. And that's how I achieved that, by basically kind of putting them together. I'm going to put tape on them, and that's going to be on the inside, so you can't see the tape from the outside of the helmet. So there, and that little piece here, I'll just probably cut it off, just that way it's easier, and that way we can put it into this portion here and it's a little bit more flush. What I tend to do is kind of just squeeze it in there. If it doesn't fit, then I might have to cut something. I might cut the side here, or maybe just even the tip there, because sometimes it just doesn't work out. You try your best to cut the pieces out together, or out, and get it to fit, but it looks like it's not, so I'm just going to cut some of it out. And I'm going to go ahead and insert it, the cheek portions. I will probably put tape, but it's all going to be in the inside. And then as well, I'll put glue as well, I'm sorry. Just so it's all extra secure. So I'll do that to both sides there. But that's how it looks so far. And then after this, I'm going to go ahead and start adding like the little details. So what you see here, I'll start adding that on the sides, and I'll just go ahead and show you, because I'll probably do it after I'm done with the cheekbones. But what I did is these little square cuts these square pieces have little cuts on the edges, and that gives it a little bit more like of a 3D look. And then we're just gonna go ahead with my pencil and curl it over a little bit so it stands up. And then I'll just glue it to these sides. But I'll glue it on this side here. And this is a little bit bigger, so what I'll do is I'll cut it. And there's another piece that goes here on this side as well. So I'll go ahead and cut that as well. And then I'll probably get into painting. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach the pieces that I've told you, just the details on the side, finished cheekbones, and then we'll get into painting, all right? All right, so this is basically the finished product. What I did was add some tape because it was looking a little bit like an oval. So I've added tape, maybe a little bit of paper just to give it some height and round it off. But this is what I did just to kind of flesh it out. I added just the tape all around it. I finished it. I've added the cheekbones, this part here, the little details. It's not exact, but you get the picture. And then this is this side here, and I'll show you the back. I've also attached the little antenna thing here. And I just put a little bit of glue and stuck it into the cardboard. That's why I used the cardboard, just because it, it gives it some dimension, but you can also cut a little slit there and slip the little antenna. So we're gonna go ahead and start the painting. So I'm gonna grab a paintbrush. I've already put my colors here, and the color, this is a deep green. It's like a military green. So you want to put a little bit more black so you can get that deeper color. And the same thing with the red as well. You want that deep tone red color. So you put more black. I think I'm going to put a little too much blue. So we're going to mix it up and see what we get. And if it's a little too bright, then we'll just add more black. But I'll mix it up with my paintbrush. And so yeah, you'll just keep playing with the colors. And then once you're satisfied with it, then you'll get to painting, and I think I'm okay with this color. So you'll paint the helmet, the top portion, all of that. And then after that's all done and dry, you'll add the little details. So these little tabs here is actually tape, and it's the tape that I used to help cover it up. And what I did was I painted it yellow, let it dry up, and then I'm going to cut it into little square pieces and attach it there. This will be like a deeper, almost like a gold bronze color. And what I did also is I added yellow, a little bit of brown, and red, and then you get that color there. So I'm going to go ahead and paint it and then come back and I'll show you the finished result. So let's get started. All right, so it's the next day. Everything's dried up. I painted everything. I've attached a little antenna. One thing or one slight detail that I did add once everything was painted was this here. He does have like an indentation in his helmet. And what I did for that was added the hot glue gun, smoothed it out with a piece of paper, brushed it out, and then waited for that to dry and painted over it. I did add some white and gray, which makes gray, white and black, which makes gray, and then did some light brush strokes just to give it some like battle worn look, kind of like it's been through some things. And all I have to do now is just add the little details, which is the little yellow part that he has alongside his helmet, and that's it. Super simple. I just used the tape, and then I'm gonna put them on there, and then I'm basically done. Super easy to make. Well, not easy, but takes some time, but then the finished result is super cool. Hopefully you guys can do this and enjoy.